Welcome to StreamLine Marketing Pro. This is Jenny Carlson, co-founder and 20-year real estate industry professional. Join me as I share one of the many features of the StreamLine Marketing Pro system. Hi, thanks for joining. Let's talk about how to create your first blog site. It's pretty simple, but when you go into your StreamLine Marketing Pro system for the first time, it might look a little confusing. So let's just walk you through it. So when you enter the StreamLine Marketing Pro website, you're going to go over here to Sites. Then you're going to jump up to the menu at the top that says Blogs, and you're going to click on that, and it's going to bring you to this screen right here, where what's confusing is it says here, create a blog. So when you come in, the first thing you see, you think, I'm going to create a blog. No, we're going to start with the actual blog site. So you want to go into the blog site before you create an actual blog. And what it means here is you're creating a blog site. So you want to go here to the existing blog site. And the reason why is because it's already got all the bells and whistles and all the attachments that you need, versus trying to create one from scratch. So you're going to go here to your default blog site. All you do is click on the name. It'll take you into the blog site itself. Then what you're going to do is you're going to edit the blog site up here on the top right. It gives you the option from here to create the blog post. Okay. And so this would be where you actually create the post. But up here at the top is where we're actually going to edit the blog site, because we're going to pretty it up a little bit, right? You're going to want to put your header in. You might want to change background colors, that kind of thing. I actually recommend that you keep the background color white. And the reason being, or clear, is because what happens is whatever that color is, when you pull up your actual blog post, it's going to have that same background. And so that can obscure the words. It might clash with whatever images you're using, that kind of thing. So leaving it at white is what I actually recommend there. Let's talk about how to format your blog. Right now, it defaults to a 2-column layout with the picture and information below each one. You can actually change this. Just a reminder, our system works on boxes. So your editing is always a box within a box type thing. So I'm going to click in the box of what I might want to edit, and I want to look at my options here. So I'm going to blog post, right? Element name, title. I leave that alone. I don't even bother to change that. But this is where you want to change standard or compact. So you can make it look like this. You can change the layout. But I kind of like the standard. But once I have more than 3 or 4 blog posts, I actually like the look of having a 3-column. I like that better. So my recommendation is, when you're first creating the blog site, leave it at the 2 until you've got some blogs behind you and you start to build a library, and then come in here and then go ahead and change it to 3, because I just think that looks better. But it's definitely up to whatever your preference is. And again, you can go over here and do this instead, the compact version. All right, now let's talk about image, tag, title, author, publish date, and description, as well as optimizing image load. I do recommend you keep that on. And here you could decide whether, for instance, you want to remove tags. Now notice when I click off tags, it's going to remove the little green tags you saw there. So I'm going to click that so you see them again. There's the tags. And these are the things that you set up when you're creating the blog post. So those are the things you do, and those are what's showing up there. Of course, you can also remove things like publish date and turn that back on, or author. Perhaps if you're writing your own blogs, which I recommend, and it's always you, maybe it seems redundant to put author. So you can turn that on or off at your preference, right? And leave it at that. Now let's talk about how to go ahead and add a header to this. So in all of our systems, we have over here this add elements. So I'm going to click on that plus sign. And what it does is it pulls up the different options that we might have for editing. And I'm going to scroll down to image, and I'm going to drag and drop that right there. Now we do have to do a little bit of manipulation within this. And when you add this image element, you'll notice that the menu over here changes, and we go and you see the image element right here that we can change. Now, if you already have the link, obviously you can just copy and paste the link in there. but it's very easy to go to your media library, which is this little icon right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this example header. All right. Now you notice that what it did is it pulled it in at the size that it pulled in the element, the the media element. So we're going to fix this. And the best way, easiest way to do that is to go down here and change this to 100%. Okay. And it defaulted, it left it at the 320 pixel, which is fine. You see here that the look of it is fine. We can change it a little bit. Maybe we go 400, right? And it stretches it out, or 350, and maybe that looks slightly better. We like that. You can also do the same thing and change it to percentage and play with that. You could also do auto and leave it at that as well, right? So this gives it to us all the way across. Now, the other thing to consider within this is that within the boxes, they all have what we call margins. And if you click on your other editing options here at the top, styles, you can go ahead and you can see that we have margins and padding. So if I wanted to, if I felt like this space was too wide or too small, we can change these numbers, right, to make this space bigger or to make it smaller. So just remember that you do have the ability to change the margins between your elements all the way down to 0. And do remember that within these elements, we have sections, that's your green box. We have the columns, which is the purple box. We have the orange box, which is the actual element box. And so within each of those can have margins. So just be aware of that dynamic. And of course, if you ever need help, you feel free to reach out anytime. We're here to help you get this set up. So we'll be happy to walk you through it. I'm going to go ahead and click save for right now. And then let's do a quick preview. I'm going to warn you, no articles will pop up because we haven't written any yet, but we're going to go ahead and click the preview so you can see how this looks. Of course, it pulls up the little previous and next, and then my computer is just being a bit slow with pulling up the header. There we go. So now we can see the header at the top. Okay. All right. So that said, this would also be one of the places that you could connect the domain to your blog site. And it's as simple as clicking on connect domain. Now, in this case, because this is our example account, we don't have any domains connected. So there's nothing here. But when you go to do this, you're going to see your domain in that spot. You just click it, or if you follow our recommendation, you actually have a separate domain name for that, and then you connect it, and then of course we connect it to your website and you get some cross posting. So it's definitely something we recommend overall, but it's not something you have to do unless you are going to be consistently doing blogs, you're going to consistently be focused on SEO. Then I recommend you have your own domain. If you're not going to do that, you just want a place to have a blog on your website, then just go ahead and use your main domain, no problem. Okay. And then remember, when you set up with StreamLine Marketing Pro, part of your setup is we help you connect your domain. So that'll be done by the time you get to the point of building your blog. All right, so we've saved this. This is literally how you create your blog site. I'm going to go ahead and go backwards here a little bit. I want you to see. Okay, now it still says default blog site. My recommendation is that you go over here to these 3 dots and click on settings. And this is something you're going to want to do before you publish anyway. Okay, and I'm going to change this, and let's just go Jenny's test blog. Okay. Now, again, you would have your domain slug. If you'd already connected it, it would be showing here. This is basically your slug, your home dash blog. So it would be like, in my case, my domain is Texas Big Realty. So it would be texasbigrealty.com/home dash blog, right? So that's what that means when it says domain and slug. Okay, then this is where ChatGPT comes in really handy. You can use the ChatGPT to create your 100-character meta description. Easy peasy. Now, if you want to go a little bit advanced, we will do a separate video for the advanced settings. But in the meantime, You can use, and I do recommend that you maybe use your logo as your favicon URL. What that means is in your media storage where your logo is saved, every single image has a URL. So if you go to your media storage and you click on the three dots, it'll give you a link. It'll say copy link. You're going to copy that link and then you're going to copy it right into this box. And that's it. You're going to update it and you're good to go. You're easy peasy. So I'm going to go ahead and update it. And now the name of the blog site has changed. However, we have not yet created the blog post. So again, I just want you to note that you have your blog site and then you have your blog posts. And this is where your create blog posts would show up. And this is at the point that you create your blog. So this is where you start entering that. We're going to do a separate video for creating a blog post, but I wanted to get you started on how that layout works so that you notice that now it says new blog post. Of course, you can name these blog posts, but now it shows that. So when you go in here, you see your site and you can still go back and make edits to your site and you can see all the blogs as you've posted them. I'm going to go back one more page because again, this is the page you see when you click on blogs, the first thing you see, and it says publish blog sites 1. That is this right here. So when you see this create a blog, it's like you're creating an actual blog site over and over and over. So just remember, you don't want to click here to create a blog post. You want to click on your actual blog site name, then you want to create your blog post. I hope that's helpful. We're going to go ahead and create the blog post video for you as well, but this is how you create and edit your blog site. Thanks so much for joining us.